This here's an image I processed 2 days ago. This is the final result. It's a photo from the seashells with nice blue sky and some nice gradient from cyan to blue going on here. And I'll show you the before. And this quick tutorial will not go into the details on all the different steps involved to go from this one to this image. If you're interested, you can have a look at my homepage. The blog there you'll find information about a 2.5 hours start to finish tutorial, which shows all my techniques I usually do to process such an image. But what I want to show you here is one step I needed in achieving this final result, and this is one of the first steps I do with such an image. If you've seen my last quick tip tutorial, you already know this layer here, the tonal helper. Let's look into it. It's a little helper, a layer which gives me warnings if tonal values in the image get too dark or if tonal values get too bright in the image. And we're gonna use this helper layer now. Let's remove this final one. We're gonna work on the initial layer where you see there's a little darkening in the sky around here. It's only slightly, but it's there, and I think this was from using the polarizer, and if you're shooting 90 degrees to the sun, this could be even more harsh. That's why you should maybe not use a polarizer when shooting 90 degrees to the sun. But here I had the sun behind and there was no problem with the polarizer, but at home I still saw this slight darkening here, which is typical. And what I now want to do, I'd like to even out the brightness in the sky. And to do this, I create two curves layers. One layer I darken a bit, set it to luminosity mode so I don't change colors. Then I copy this layer, and this one I brighten a bit. To better navigate through those, I call this brighten. Call this one darken. Then I click on both masks. With Ctrl I, I'll invert those masks. So the effect is completely hidden now. And now what I'll do, I'll use this tonal helper, double click on the side here, and I'll use the triangle which is up here in the bright parts. And as I move it to the left, you see this border moving upwards. And if we start, you see it's not moving across the sky evenly. It's already up here the complete way, and on this side there's a little curve. And what this shows me is how the tonal values are distributed in the sky. And by moving this triangle, I clearly see where, for example, here the sky is darker than on this side. So what I'd usually do is I move this triangle till everything is covered, and then I back it off a bit, go to the left till I start to see the sky showing through here. I'd hit OK, and then I'd use the brighten layer. I click on the mask, use a small brush with like 10% opacity, maybe even a little less. Let's say we start off with like 6%, and then I have this set to foreground color to white. I move across this area, and as you can see, I'm evening out the brightness here. Then I'd click on this tonal helper again and move it a little more to the right to see the next issue, which is here where it's darker than on this side again. So I select the brighten layer, the mask again, and draw across this one. Also here on the side, And I repeat this step. And again, grabbing this triangle and moving it to the right. What I can also do, if I don't want to brighten this one further, I could also do the opposite on this side. I could darken this side a bit to even it out. Now I'm selecting the mask of the darken layer and paint in this one. So it goes vice versa. I can darken this side a bit. On the other hand, brighten this side a bit to even out the gradation in the sky. And I go on. Sometimes it's good to start over again just to see how this gradient moves. And now again I'm seeing it's dropping off on this side very fast. So I paint on the brighten layer again. Also with a darken, go across this one. Repeat the step. Brighten this side a bit. Yeah, it's a bit of a tedious work, but the resulting image will usually look more clear, more clean also. And if you have even a stronger darkening in the sky, this might be even more important than with this image, where it's only showing a little bit. So let's stop here. I could then select those two layers, hit Ctrl G and put them in a group. Call this even sky. And now you see if I activate it, look at this area especially, how it's evening out the sky, how it's lightening up this side and darkening this a bit. And what usually happens if I do this, it's a bit too much, and this is why I put it into this group. I can back off the opacity a bit, and by playing around with the opacity I usually get to the point where it's very even. I can also put a mask on this group, and with a black brush and low opacity, now I just draw across areas where now here I trust my eye, where I feel it's gotten too dark. So first thing, the tonal helper guides me, but in the end I have to trust what I see. It has to look good. And with this combination you can very easily even out your sky and give the image a cleaner look.